Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the first official episode of Pluto Canon, where we're just talking about anime and everything else in between. Today's episode, I decided to go more the simple route. I want to talk about what do you think makes an anime popular, known, or just overall good. This is my personal opinion. If you don't agree, I completely understand, but we're just here to share opinions. Nobody is wrong, nobody is right. But hey, we all are entitled to what we say at the end of the day. So, I'm your host Pluto, and let's get started. So, one of the things I think that makes the anime very good is, first of all, the story has to be amazing. Just has to be like overall good, decent, not hard to follow. Don't make it too complicated, don't make it too long, just make it short, sweet, and simple. I believe most stories like that, it kind of makes your anime like stand out, or it makes it more watchable. For example, we had Naruto. The beginning of Naruto, easy to follow, nothing too crazy, nothing too complicated. You know what I'm saying? The protagonist was very likable. The characters was very likable. They have funny moments. They have serious moments. I'm gonna get to the second topic, which is the music. I'm not gonna get into the music right now. I'm just talking about the story. And by Shippuden, it was really, really good. And I will admit, and I think a lot of people can admit, I know they're gonna fight and argue about it, but like I said, this is my opinion, so I might not be right, but I might not be wrong. It depends on the audience that hear it. I believe the fourth Great Ninja War was a little dragged on more than other anime. Now, what do I mean by that? There's nothing wrong with the war. The fights was amazing. The moments was amazing. But the fact that this man, Kishimoto, could not make Naruto or Sasuke win by Madara by no other means except bringing in the mother of chakra just so she could get sealed again. Look, I'm not gonna lie, that part was kind of dragged on, but it's not like terrible. But I wouldn't really do that, for the war arc, and it was just too much. Nothing was really brought up until like last minute with everything, including with the chakra and Hagoromo and the rest of them. So it was kind of crazy. It was crazy, but nonetheless, Naruto and Naruto Shippuden both together, I would rank it a good A. You could probably knock it down to B, but I would say an A. But this is not a ranking list. That's just based off what I watch. Another great one is Bleach, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is my number one, so I had to say it. I have to put it out there. Cowboy Bebop, Inuyasha, I think it's Saint Seiya. That's another good one. Sailor Moon, man. Samurai X. Like, all of them are really good. Like, they all have good stories, and it's not hard to follow. All of them are really good, and it's like very easy to understand, and it just makes you feel like comfortable. You want to go with the adventure. You want to watch the entire thing. You want to see how everybody goes to everything. The protagonist, the antagonist, the side characters, even the antagonist. You kind of want to see like the backstory, like what made you evil, like what made you like this. I know I'm like this with some of my favorite antagonists, but it varies. It depends on who it is. Sometimes I just want you to be evil. Sometimes I just want you to, have your reasons, but don't make it like too in depth. Just say like, oh, they killed my brother, or oh, they murdered my clan, or oh, they left me in like a cage for like 500 years. I'm coming back for revenge. Something like that. It may be simple, it may be corny, but the actions that they do after that determines why they're like high on my list, or I acknowledge them to the standard that I do. I'm like, yo, that's an antagonist right there. Now, the next thing I think an anime needs is the music. Your music, your soundtrack, it needs to be a bop. If your soundtrack's not a bop, I mean, I'm not really complaining about it, but it's not going to really fulfill my enjoyment of the show. Sometimes I might fall out with the show because the soundtrack isn't hitting. Instrumentals or vocals in the background, it doesn't matter. If your soundtrack isn't on par with what scene I'm looking at, like an emotional scene, if it doesn't sound emotional, I'm not really going to care about the scene. It's not going to hit. it's just not gonna hit. It might still hit depending on like who the character was and what happened before this scene happened, but most of the time it wouldn't hit for me. I'll just be like, okay. you know. Now this is, it can vary. I don't think this would determine for me to say the anime is good, but the newer people that watch anime would definitely say it, but I wouldn't say that's like a main issue. They're going to say animation. They need the animation to be crisp. They need the animation to be fire. Alright. 2 prime examples of this was Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer. Now, I don't think you guys quite understand, so I'm going to try and like, in my own way, break it down. Animation is just animation, but story and animation does not correlate. Demon Slayer's story is very basic, very simple. Nothing's too complicated about it, right? I think anyone with a good amount of brain cells can understand, Now, the animation is what makes it pop out to everybody, like it really pops out. Everyone says that it's better than this. Everybody says better, like it's the best new gen to ever come out. Yes, that is true, but you gotta remember, the story is not like A tier, S tier, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of basic, not hating on it, but it's true. I think anyone could honestly admit that Demon Slayer's story is not some masterpiece or something like that. Now, as much as I don't like Attack on Titans, I don't like it, I never really was a fan of it, I did read it, and honestly, as much as I shit on it and come down on it, and the fans too, it is really a masterpiece in its own right. And I'm not just saying this because I feel like I need to be acknowledged by the whole community of Attack on Titans. I could care. I could care less about that. It's more on the whole premise of, Attack on Titans is that show. Like, the creator really did this show justice. Now, will I sit here and glaze the hell out of the show? No. But I will say, when credit is due, I give the credit. And if Attack on Titan is good, story written wise, I'm going to say it's good. I don't feel like people should hate on an anime and that it's good. Prime example, I swear I troll every single day about this anime, and I will always troll it because it's always funny to see the reaction. I'm going to troll on Black Clover. From day one, and I never read the story until, like I say, almost 2 years ago, right? I was never a Black Clover fan. Every time I would see a scene, a picture, I didn't like it. Every time I heard of Asta's name, didn't like him. I heard his little yells, didn't like him. And the one thing that everyone would tell me, and I will find it funny, I have to be a Naruto fan. That's why I hate Black Clover. Honestly, in the beginning of Naruto, I did not like his voice either. But I cannot sit here and say that Black Clover is trash. What I can say is Black Clover is remotely decent. It's like another story that's not really hard to follow. I think you can pretty much understand it when you read it. The animation isn't really the best, but it has its moments. It has its charms. When you watch it, you be like, yo, Black Clover really has its charms. Like, this is really cool. This is really amazing. Then other times, the animation could just turn you off a little bit. You're just like, yeah, the studio could have done better. But the story itself is not bad. Now, is it like a common shonen story? Yes. But am I going to sit here and say it's like that most trash ass shonen to ever exist? No. Because it's actually good. Coming from a person that trolls, I wouldn't put Black Clover high on my list, but I'm not going to sit here and bash it. And I know that it has good moments. I just like to troll people about it because, it's funny to sometimes see anime fans get offended and then they think that, oh, I'm a new anime fan. Even though I've been watching anime since I was a kid. But that's besides the point. I know I kind of drifted from it, but now we're going to go back to it. Animation is optional, but I would recommend it, especially, if your story is like, kind of dynamic. It's pretty cool, Now, when it comes to CGI or just making it purely like digitally, I don't know about that. Because man, I know it's hard to like really keep up with the standard of animation, but what I will say is if you have it, great, awesome. I might be just in tune with the animation, but if you don't, but the story is still hidden, not really gonna be mad about it. I'm gonna be like, you know what, it's still good though. Like it's still good in my eyes, so there's really nothing wrong with it. The next one I will say, a villain that makes sense. Now, a lot of people may not understand this, but you really need a villain that makes sense. I don't want to see a villain that's like a typical shonen villain. Like, for example, Frieza is pure hatred, and I love to see it every single day. He would always test Goku and Vegeta's patience, and I love to see it. I love to see it. I swear to God, it is the most funniest thing ever. And like when he just has like a trump card to like whoop their ass, it be catching me off guard. I'm like, yo, Frieza really did that. Like that shit is crazy. Same with Aizen. Like when Aizen first popped up, he was cold motherfucker too. Like he wasn't even average. He was something dangerous. Like he was really something that, honestly, if you don't like Bleach and you didn't watch like Bleach, all I would tell you, and I swear to God, this is all you have to do. All you have to do is watch Soul Society. You'll pretty much understand everything. After Soul Society, you can literally like skip a lot of arcs. You will be confused, but you can honestly skip it and go to the good part, and you'll be amazed, at the fights and the connections and like what's at stake. I feel like a lot of people sleep on Bleach because they couldn't watch it. It was boring. It wasn't the best out of the big three. But you gotta like sit there and watch it. If you had the patience. I recommend watching it with somebody that knows Bleach, but don't let them spoil it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like just let them like look at you and be like, yo, watch it. I feel like some people need that at times. One Piece has great villains. It just takes a long time to meet them, but really, really great villains. It's a journey. It's a journey, like, to sit there and watch it, but when you do, it's really, really good. Man, what's another? Yu Yu Hakusho. Yes. I don't even want to sit here and really talk about it like that, because if I do, we gonna be here for like an hour. Like if I explain the dynamics of those villains, we'll be here for a long time. I'm trying not to be here for a long time. I'm not trying to really stress this episode that long. Hunter x Hunter has good villains too. Nice world building on top of that. Hunter x Hunter is like really good. Heck, even Pokemon be having good villains. It be pocket monsters. You gotta think about that. It be pocket monsters. It's not even the humans. Sometimes the humans are good, but it's really the Pokemon, especially when they got no feelings towards the other Pokemon. Like, it's really good. It's really good. Like, I believe villains really do make the stories up. Like, it just do. World building is another one that I really truly admire. I guess that's why I really like One Piece. I really like One Piece because the world building. I like One Piece, Hunter x Hunter. Hell, even Fairy Tail with the world building, it was cool. Like I like it. Like I wasn't expecting. Spoiler alert for anyone that didn't watch Fairy Tail. I wasn't expecting like demons and the dragons being extinct. Like I wasn't expecting that, and I wasn't expecting a dude in a cape to come down and he like, yo, I want to eliminate the dragons. All the dragon slayers gotta die. I'm like, huh? Like, I know a lot of people shit on Fairy Tail. I'm not like the biggest fan of Fairy Tail, but Fairy Tail's okay. Like, it's okay. A lot of people say it's overhyped. I don't see no one overhyping it. In fact, I will say Fairy Tail is very underrated. Now, like especially right now, it's not on a lot of people's top 10. Maybe for the newer people, not for the older people. Not like people my age. They wouldn't really say Fairy Tail is top 10, sadly, but I feel like it deserves its shine at times. It brought out a lot of good things. One of the other things that I feel like animes do, and I feel like it's a great thing, openings and endings. You gotta get certain bands on your tracks, man. Like, you gotta get certain artists. Like, me personally, for my stories that I have, I would get Lisa, Cold Rain, Claire S. Man, it's so many bands. I can't even think of all their names. It's a lot of them. I can't think of them right now. I'm pretty sure my girlfriend, she would say so many good bands, like so many. I'll just sit here and be like, wow, these bands are really nice. I didn't think, I'm not really a person that listens to J-pop or K-pop. I don't really do that, but when I do, it's like amazing. But I feel like if you have that for your anime, especially like your first opening or your second opening or whatever, your anime really do like shine because of the song itself. Like, the song will make you be like, I want to listen to it. Like, I remember to this day, Tokyo Ghoul opening had everybody in a chokehold that I have never seen before. Like, the last time I think I seen that was Bluebird, and that was from Naruto. That was from Naruto Shippuden. But Tokyo Ghoul had everybody. That was like something that I just couldn't believe. I honestly couldn't believe. So openings and endings are really, really needed. I feel like those are needed too. Especially for a certain art. You need certain bands. You need certain people. You just gotta have it out. And the last thing is, just make your story as simple as possible. Don't drag it out to the extent of, hey, I want money, so I'm gonna drag it out. I know a lot of people say One Piece is dragged out. One Piece just has a lot going on, so I feel like it's not dragged on. You know what it is? It's the pacing of One Piece that makes it look like it's dragged on. The pacing of One Piece, in one chapter, you wouldn't really find out anything. You'll find out a lot, but then it's like, you won't find out a lot until like 5 chapters later, and then when you put it like all in like one big invisible sandwich, it's like you learn like 20 different things in a matter of 5 chapters. But throughout the whole arc, there's like over 100 things you'll find out about, like the whole like island that they're on or something, and you just be like, wow, this is really like different, amazing, and fantastic. Bleach, I don't know if you guys know the story of Bleach, like the sad story. It was going on. It was still in the in the war art, and then Shonen just cut them, like just cut his entire time limit to where we didn't get a proper final fight. We didn't get a proper transformation sequence. We still, to this day, and I beg to God, Kubo, do it like one day. We haven't seen Aizen's Bankai or nothing. A lot of people say he doesn't need to show it because he's just like that. He's Himothy. I would want to see it anyway. I think it would be a cool sight to see. I really think it would be. And man, it's a lot that goes into an anime that I think that needs to be considered. And those are just mine personally. Like, if you got a good story, you got good world building, you got a nice soundtrack, a nice opening, a nice ending, you got good characters, good development going on, you know what I'm saying? The pacing is remotely decent, not too long, you're not dragging it out, and it just makes sense, it's like really easy to follow. You have a golden anime right there. And I have proof of like which anime really follows this, but then there's like other animes that's like really not doing it properly. Like, one of my new gen animes that I personally like a lot, I love Boruto, only in the manga. I know a lot of people be like, oh, Boruto is trash. The anime, and I can agree, I'm not one of those fans that will like, alright, it's coming back from like hiatus or something. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, it has better animation than Chainsaw Man, has better animation than this anime. I'm not one of those people. I'm just glad to see Boruto. I'm glad they're going by the manga material, because the manga material really is where Boruto shines at. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Boruto is like the best. No, I just say Boruto as a character is really, really good. Boruto in the manga is really, really good. The story is really heading in a nice direction. I really love it. Like, I don't want to spoil what happens in the manga. I really want people to like just literally pick up the Boruto manga and read 5 chapters. And I swear to God, you will like it, because that's how good it is. It's not like It's not like the anime where the anime makes it trash. They throw in all this filler episode. The manga really is where it shines at. And I tell people this, but then they just look at Boruto. They see the name Boruto, Naruto's son. They're like, nah, shit is ass. Shit is trash. I'm like, damn, man, you got to give it a try. If I gave Black Clover a try, and I've been trolling them for years, see, y'all gotta get Boruto at least in the manga a try. I ain't telling you watch the anime. I could tell you like what episode to start on in Boruto to where the manga starts at, and I swear to God, you just keep it going. You don't look back. You don't do none of that. And that's just my takes on what makes an anime good, in my opinion. I would love to know what you guys' opinions on this, because I know you guys are going to say something different. I know you guys are going to probably tell me that, no, this is more important than this, or nah, animation needs to be top tier. If it's not, I'm not watching it. I would love to see what y'all say, because I know I'm going to laugh. I know I'm going to laugh. And hopefully, the more that the Pluto Canon series goes on, I could have one of you guys speak. We could just have a whole debate, a whole conversation. I want to hear it. I would love to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I want to connect with you guys. And besides that, this has been Pluto Canon. This was the first episode. And hopefully you guys enjoy what I said. Hopefully it wasn't too much. Hopefully it's not too long. I know some of you guys be at work and you guys listen. There's no visual on this. This is just straight up just the audio. So I hope you guys really enjoy. More episodes, just be in tune. And with that being said, I love you all. Hope y'all have a good day, a good night, and I will meet you guys pretty soon. The next conversation, I don't even want to tell you what it is. It might be a little shocking, it might be a little shift, but trust me, I think you guys will like it. And Pluto is out. Yeah!